Good morning, afternoon, everyone. Let's begin with something we've all felt before: the sting of being ignored. It's a sharp, silent ache that doesn't just bruise your ego, it rattles your sense of belonging. And yet, as painful as it is, being ignored is more than an insult. It's a signal. It's a mirror. And sometimes it's an invitation. When someone ignores you, it's tempting to assume their silence is a reflection of who you are. After all, isn't that how we're wired? From a young age, we learn to seek validation from others, teachers, friends, family, and when that validation doesn't come, when it's replaced by silence, it feels like rejection. But here's the thing: their silence is not your mirror. It's not a measure of your value, your worth, or your ability to connect. Let's break this down. When someone withdraws or ignores you, their behavior is almost always rooted in their internal world, something that has very little to do with you. Maybe they're overwhelmed, dealing with stress, or carrying wounds that make vulnerability hard for them. Perhaps they don't know how to express their feelings or are avoiding a difficult conversation. Silence is often a defense mechanism, not an indictment of your character. But here's where it gets tricky. When we're faced with silence, we tend to fill in the blanks. And because we're human, those blanks are usually filled with our own insecurities. I must have done something wrong. They must not care about me. I'm not good enough. We take their silence personally, as if it's proof of our flaws. But the truth is, we're projecting our fears onto a situation we may not fully understand. The danger here is that when we mistake someone else's silence for a judgment of us, we give away our power. We let their behavior dictate how we see ourselves. We allow their inability to communicate to diminish our sense of self-worth. But you are not the sum of someone else's reactions or lack thereof. So how do we shift this perspective? It starts with the fundamental truth: everyone is fighting battles we cannot see. Their silence may be less about you and more about their own struggles, their own fears, or their inability to show up in the way you deserve. Recognizing this doesn't mean excusing their behavior or dismissing your feelings. It means separating their actions from your identity. Think of it this way: when you look into a mirror, you see yourself as you are, not how someone else wants to see you. But if you allow their silence to define you, you're letting their reflection cloud your own. Instead, hold on to the knowledge that you are whole, valuable, and worthy, regardless of how someone else chooses to engage. And let's be honest, sometimes their silence is a blessing in disguise. It can reveal cracks in the foundation of a relationship. It can show you who is willing to put in the effort to communicate and who is not. It's a painful but powerful filter that helps you focus on connections that are reciprocal and fulfilling. Ultimately, their silence is not about you, it's about them. Your job is not to carry the weight of their unspoken words or unresolved issues. Your job is to stay grounded in your own truth, to remember your worth, and to move forward with grace, knowing that your value is never diminished by someone else's inability to see it. You are not their silence. You are your own voice, your own mirror, and your own source of strength, that pain. It's one of those words we instinctively want to avoid, isn't it? Pain feels uncomfortable, raw, and heavy. It's the feeling we try to escape or numb. But what if we've been looking at pain the wrong way? What if pain isn't something to run from, but something to lean into, a compass pointing us toward the places we need to explore and the truths we need to uncover? When someone ignores you, the pain you feel is sharp and immediate. It can feel like rejection, isolation, or even betrayal. But beneath that surface level discomfort lies something deeper, a message. Pain, especially the pain of being ignored, is often a signal from your inner self. It's saying, hey, something here needs your attention. Let's unpack this. Pain is one of the most honest emotions we experience. While joy and excitement can sometimes distract us from the deeper currents of our lives, pain cuts through the noise. It's direct. It demands acknowledgement. When someone's behavior causes you pain, it's not just about what they did or didn't do. It's about what that experience stirs within you. Maybe their silence makes you feel unseen or unvalued. That's painful, but it's also revealing. It points to a core need you have to be recognized, appreciated, and respected. Or maybe they're ignoring triggers a deeper wound from your past, a time when you felt abandoned or unworthy. That pain is a signpost inviting you to reflect and ask, where is this coming from? What part of me still needs healing? Pain isn't random, it's purposeful. It's your body and mind's way of guiding you toward growth. Think about how muscles grow stronger, they tear first. The discomfort you feel when someone ignores you might be tearing at old patterns, beliefs, or habits that no longer serve you. It's challenging you to question. Am I investing in relationships that nurture me, or am I overextending myself? Am I placing my self-worth in the hands of someone else, or am I standing firmly in my own value? Is this pain a signal that I need to set boundaries, speak up, or let go? Pain as a compass doesn't mean we should dwell in it. It's not about living in sadness or letting the hurt define us. Instead, it's about using pain as a tool for self-awareness. When you experience that ache, take a moment to pause. Ask yourself, what is this pain trying to teach me? Where is it guiding me? And here's an important reminder, just because pain is a teacher doesn't mean the lesson is easy. Growth is often uncomfortable. Setting boundaries, walking away from toxic relationships, or addressing past wounds takes courage. But every step you take in understanding your pain brings you closer to clarity, strength, and healing. The pain of being ignored can also remind us of the connections that truly matter. If someone's absence hurts, it might be because their presence mattered to you. That's a gift in itself, a chance to evaluate whether this relationship aligns with your values and needs. If it does, you may decide to address the issue and seek resolution. If it doesn't, that pain is pointing you toward the freedom to let go. Lastly, pain as a compass is a call to self-compassion. Just like you wouldn't rush someone who's healing from a physical injury, don't rush yourself through emotional pain. Be patient with yourself. Acknowledge the hurt, honor the lessons, and give yourself the time you need to recalibrate. Pain is not your enemy, it's your guide. When you stop fearing it and start listening to it, you'll discover that it has a remarkable way of steering you toward your truest self. It's not easy, but it's worth it. Because on the other side of pain is growth, strength, and a deeper understanding of who you are and what you deserve. So when you feel that ache of being ignored, don't numb it or push it away. Instead, take a deep breath, listen to what it's telling you, and let it guide you forward. Pain isn't just a wound, it's a way forward. It's your compass.in, a world that constantly asks for your attention, your energy, and your validation. It's easy to forget the most important relationship you have, the one with yourself. When someone ignores you, it's painful and it stirs feelings of loneliness, rejection, or inadequacy. But instead of looking outward for answers, for validation, or for reconciliation, this is a time to turn inward. Turning toward yourself is not just about seeking solace in your own company, it's about reconnecting with your inner strength and embracing your own worth. So often we base our sense of value on how others perceive us or treat us. When we're ignored, we let their silence define our self-worth. But in moments like these, when the world feels cold or distant, it's an invitation to return to the most reliable source of love, acceptance, and truth you will ever have yourself. When someone withdraws or ignores you, it's natural to want to reach out to them, to find a way to get back into their good graces, or to fix the perceived problem. But in doing so, we risk abandoning the person who matters most, ourselves. This moment, painful as it may be, is an opportunity to ask, how am I treating myself in this moment? Am I giving myself the kindness, care, and understanding that I deserve? The power of self-compassion. Turning toward yourself begins with self-compassion. It's about treating yourself with the same kindness and patience you would show a dear friend. Think about it, if your best friend were going through the same experience, feeling hurt, ignored, or misunderstood, how would you comfort them? Would you blame them, criticize them, or would you remind them of their inherent worth, their goodness, and their ability to rise above this moment? Self-compassion is the act of stepping outside the harsh inner critic and embracing a gentler, more understanding voice. It means acknowledging the pain of being ignored without judgment, recognizing that it's okay to hurt, to feel vulnerable, and to want connection. Instead of chastising yourself for needing others, allow yourself to feel your emotions fully. You're not weak or needy for wanting to be seen, you're human. And in those moments of discomfort, you can remind yourself that it's okay to be hurt. The healing begins when you allow yourself to sit with the discomfort rather than avoiding it. Rediscovering your own validation. When someone ignores you, the natural impulse is to look outside yourself for answers. You might want them to explain why they're distant or to offer you an apology or reassurance. But the truth is, your worth doesn't come from their acknowledgement or their approval. You don't need external validation to confirm who you are and what you're worth. Turning toward yourself means reconnecting with your own sense of value. It's about remembering that you are enough exactly as you are, whether someone else notices or not. You are not defined by how others treat you. You are defined by your own relationship with yourself. It's easy to forget that in the midst of emotional pain. But in these quiet moments, you can take a deep breath and remind yourself, I am worthy of love, respect, and connection, whether or not I receive it from someone else right now. In a society that values external success, appearance, and approval, we often forget that our internal sense of worth is far more reliable. Learning to validate yourself is one of the most powerful gifts you can give yourself. It means affirming your own strengths, recognizing your efforts, and appreciating your own unique qualities without needing someone else's acknowledgement to feel seen. Building inner strength. Turning toward yourself also involves building inner strength. The pain of being ignored can feel like a blow to your self-esteem, but it's also an opportunity to fortify your emotional resilience. Instead of seeing this moment as something that diminishes you, see it as a chance to deepen your self-reliance. It's about building the ability to stand firm in who you are, even when others are distant or unresponsive. Inner strength isn't about shutting down your emotions or ignoring the hurt. It's about allowing yourself to feel the pain and at the same time recognizing that you have the capacity to endure and heal. You are capable of standing on your own 2 feet. Even when the people you care about don't show up in the way you expect, you can turn inward for support, drawing from your own reserves of courage, wisdom, and self-love. One way to build this inner strength is to engage in practices that nurture your emotional well-being. Meditation, journaling, self-reflection, and gratitude are all ways to deepen your connection with yourself. These practices help you cultivate a sense of groundedness and self-assurance so that you don't need others to validate your worth. You can validate it yourself. The freedom of self-connection. Finally, turning toward yourself frees you from the cycle of waiting for someone to come back to you or apologize. You stop seeking permission from others to feel good about yourself. You stop placing your happiness in their hands. Instead, you take full ownership of your emotional well-being. In this freedom, you discover the power to create your own happiness. You can fill your life with people who truly value you and contribute to your sense of peace and fulfillment. You can invest in relationships that are reciprocal, where both sides show up with care and intention. But it all begins by turning toward yourself. When you stop looking outward for the answers and start looking inward, you realize that you've always had everything you need to heal, grow, and thrive. The love, respect, and validation you seek are already within you. So when you feel the sting of being ignored, instead of chasing after someone else's approval or trying to fix the situation, turn inward. Be kind to yourself. Reaffirm your worth. Rediscover your inner strength. And remember, you are whole, you are worthy, and you don't need anyone's approval to know that. The only validation that truly matters is the one you give yourself. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with this: the pain of being ignored is real. It hurts, and it challenges us in ways we often don't expect. But instead of allowing that pain to diminish us, let it be a catalyst for growth. Let it guide you inward to a deeper understanding of your own worth, your own strength, and your own capacity for healing. In these moments of discomfort, don't look outward for the answers. Turn toward yourself because you are the one who has the power to heal, to grow, and to thrive. You are the one who can validate your own existence, your own value, and your own purpose. Remember, your worth is not defined by how others treat you. It's defined by how you treat yourself, how you stand in your own truth, and how you love yourself, especially in moments when the world may feel distant. So the next time someone ignores you, don't let it be the thing that breaks you. Let it be the thing that wakes you up to your own strength. You are enough, always. Thank you.